Nassau is the capital of New Providence Island, one of the many islands of the Bahamas archipelago that extends for 1,000 kilometers off both Cuba and Florida in the Atlantic Ocean. A bathing and diving paradise under the Caribbean sun. New Providence Island. Nassau has an international airport, and many huge ocean-going cruise liners make for these shores. Nassau is the Bahamas' administrative and financial center, and New Providence Island is commonly referred to as the Bahamas. The harbour is always busy with vessels of all shapes and sizes, and the pulsating life of this exotic tourist metropolis is truly impressive. It was the elitist jet set who first Americanized this tax haven, and soon mass tourism followed, but not everywhere. One of the most successful of those to profit from this favourable location and its pure nature are the conch sellers. Each year, 3.5 million tourists come to the Bahamas, most of them to stay on New Providence Island, mainly close to Nassau. In the yacht harbour, fishing boats lie at anchor. Seafood is part of the staple diet of the local people and is also a popular dish with the tourists. Here are some small stalls where the day's catch is prepared, cooked and offered for sale, as fresh can get. For cruise ships, Nassau is a must. Each cruise ship that travels the Caribbean anchors in its harbour that is conveniently situated in the centre of the city. Today, cruises are commonplace, and passenger lists of up to 4,000 are not uncommon. Those who don't want to walk through the city can sit back and enjoy the sights in a horse and carriage, travelling through Bay Street and its atmospheric side streets. The journey travels along the city's lanes, past many sights that are described by the coachman. The route travels up the city's hills, past colonial buildings and a statue of Christopher Columbus that is located by the steps of the government building. After 30 minutes or so, our horse and carriage returns to the harbour with its many cruise liners. The statue of Christopher Columbus surveys both harbour and city from Government House, almost as if he'd just landed there. The Bahamian Government resides in the pink-coloured colonial buildings of Parliament Square that were built between 1805 and 1813 in the traditional design of the American Confederate States. A statue of Queen Victoria serves as a reminder that the islands were annexed by England in 1684. They gained their independence in 1973. Opposite is a bronze bust that commemorates the first governor of the independent Bahamas, Milo Butler. An idyllic cleft in the rock walls of Bennett's Hill is popular with sightseers, a narrow and shady canyon, lush and green. A small waterfall and several springs sustain the green palms and marvellous flowers. An ideal photo opportunity in these fine surroundings. This is the shortest route from the city up to Fort Fincastle, one of several forts that were built at strategic locations. One of these was Montego Fort on Nassau's western headland, an indication of the former power of the British Crown in this remote corner of the world. Because the slaves could not read or write, the only way they could communicate was while the Sunday church service was taking place, during which they could talk and sing. The slaves came with their lords. Following the founding of the USA, several thousand British loyalists came here from North America, so they could continue to live under the rule of the British Crown. They built churches and attempted to establish an economy that was based upon the cultivation of plantations. However, in 1834, slavery was made illegal by the British. Even today, the Bahamians are a religious people, and the number of churches exceeds by far the number of bars. More than 24 religions are to be found on the islands. Pastel-coloured, picture postcard perfect buildings decorate the streets. The timber-built buildings of clapboard design have all been renovated. And on the outskirts, villas with tidy gardens and colourful blossom, tranquil and relaxing. The Bahamas is sometimes referred to as the Atlantic Switzerland. This is because it's a tax haven and has more than 400 banks. The shopping streets in the city centre become hopelessly crowded when up to 11 huge cruise ships lie at anchor here. It's then that the shopping arcades are invaded by tourists. In the centre of Nassau is the huge British colonial hotel, and the hospitality of the Bahamian mama is well known all over the world. The colourful and typical Caribbean straw market is always frenetic. Here it's possible to observe skillful wood carvers creating various objects out of mahogany. Shopping and sightseeing make for thirsty work, so the bars are kept busy and the drinks are colourful and exotic. Everywhere there are reminders of the pirates who once lived here, and outside the city are their caves close to the coastal road. So how does it look here today? Today, there's a popular restaurant area for both tourists and locals alike. It's also the best place to try a conch. And on an artificial island just off the coast is where fresh water supplies from Andros Island are stored. But what would this holiday paradise be without Cable Beach? Here, lavish hotel complexes rub shoulders with busy casinos. Huge hotel complexes lie next to magnificent sandy beaches, and it's extremely difficult to find a week when it isn't busy. Here there's every kind of water sport, as well as bikini-clad beauties. A subtropical El Dorado for one and all. The Botanical Garden measures 7 hectares and contains tropical flowers, bushes and exotic trees. Around 1,600 varieties of plant grow here. The humid climate promotes their growth. 7 varieties of palm trees surround small ponds that are adorned with beautiful water lilies. It's also popular with local children. On a small hill on the western outskirts of Nassau is Fort Charlotte. Today a popular tourist destination on the periphery of the city, once a daunting fortification. Tourist guides lead us through the complex with its many firing slots and take us down into the fortress' dark and eerie interior. A Jitney Bus Tour is a must, an urban adventure of a special kind and a great way by which to discover the island. Jitneys are small buses that travel through the city and to each corner of the island both day and night. Passengers pay when disembarking and get off where they choose. The perfect bus service. After almost half an hour's drive, we arrive at our destination in the middle of the island, the Bacardi Rum Factory. It's the ideal place to learn about rum production. Back on the western edge of Nassau is the Ardastra Gardens that are open to the public, a 2-hectare botanical garden and adjoining zoo. Enthralled, children observe the animals, such as cute monkeys and a sleeping, pot-bellied pig. As though of stone, an alligator rests in a pool, surrounded by exotic nature. A peacock nobly struts his stuff, as if the ruler of all it surveys. The peaceful sight of the various animals is a true delight. It's a little like being on a Noah's Ark of the Caribbean. The feeding of the birds is quite an adventure. Both the brave and the not-so-brave try their luck at feeding the colourful birds. A particularly special attraction are the trained flamingos that perform tricks several times a day. An animal trainer dressed in the uniform of the military general directs the flamingo ballet. Afterwards, the performers place themselves professionally among their audience for a photo shoot, then walk in a circle. Paradise Island. The new landmark of the region stands on this island that is around 5 kilometres long, Atlantis, the largest adventure oasis in the world. A real fantasy land. Atlantis and the sea in each of its many facets are the central theme of this unique hotel complex, a realm of myth and legend. The architectural design as well as the interior have been lovingly worked with much artistic detail. The first sight of this huge water landscape inspires one to explore this exciting world of entertainment beneath the Caribbean sun. By way of casinos and various entertainments, South African hotel tycoon Sol Kurtzner has created a mega luxury resort in the style of Las Vegas. In open pools are manta rays, huge turtles, and 200 other kinds of marine life that swim alongside their human counterparts. The subterranean areas also have much to offer. Caves with huge glass walls and several types of fish, and a 30-meter-long glass tunnel. It's like walking through the water, surrounded by more than 20,000 fish. The walls of the caves are painted with fabulous beings that are reminiscent of the stories of the legendary submerged island realm of Atlantis. Back on the surface, the feeding of the sharks is also a thrilling experience. The view of the feeding sharks is a special adventure for one and all. The numerous pools are great fun and many kinds of water sports are available. There's an adventure world with waterfalls and suspension bridges and various intriguing tunnels. The water scenery is exceptional. Several slides travel down a Mayan pyramid into pools below that lie partly within the pyramid. Entertainment has no limit here. The power tower with its striking roof can be climbed, and there are also water slides to the bottom and lots of floating around and playful activity. The open sea has been tamed by way of artificial reefs, so calm lagoons and sandy beaches have been created. No dangerous sea currents here. But for those who want to experience the sea in all of its untamed power, there's also a beach with natural surf. Dolphin Cay is the name of another attraction. This is the world of the mischievous and intelligent dolphins, whose domain is just off the Atlantis skyline. Around 30 dolphins perform their tricks, after which they're rewarded by their trainers. They even push their brave human playmates through the water pool with their mouths. The Bottlenose Dolphins are loved by everyone and are one of the resort's main attractions. Here, the legendary Atlantis shakes hands Las Vegas style. Close by on the same island is a park, Versailles Gardens. However, on seeing the park, it seems that whoever gave it its name had not set eyes on the original Versailles. Based on European models, numerous artistic figures were placed here, and the slope was transformed into various terraces connected by steps. This tranquil area was created by American multimillionaire Huntington Harford on what was once an untouched island. This was where he liked to walk. The eccentric, or as some may say, the visionary originator of tourism on the Bahamas also had another idea. He called it the Cloisters. While traveling in Europe in the south of France, he discovered an Augustine monastery, which he purchased and had relocated here. The medieval cloister was meant to impress his constantly changing wives and lady friends. Indeed, it's easy to believe that his efforts were not in vain. Blue Lagoon Island. We leave Paradise Island by ferryboat and travel to the next island. It's a private island that can only be visited for a few hours. It takes about 20 minutes to travel to the entrance of the sheltered bay of the Blue Lagoon. The small entrance that leads into the hidden harbour lagoon can be easily missed. Passengers rush to the water pool area, a realm of maritime fauna. Finally, more people are allowed into the pool to play with the dolphins. Then the dolphins are kissed, photographed, stroked, and sometimes feared. The animals are quite large and well at home in the water. But they appear to be very understanding and become even more friendly. And soon even the reticent become at ease with these intelligent creatures. Everyone's enjoying the experience. This is where the popular TV series Flipper was filmed, that is popular with all members of the family. There are many marvelous stories of these creatures, how they've rescued people from the sea and assisted the disabled. This experience certainly gives us a most fascinating insight. Then they whirl around in the water, and so one thing's for sure, Flipper is everyone's friend. Exuma Cays. The Exuma Islands can be visited by powerboat. They're 60 kilometres from Nassau. After an hour, we see some wonderful bays. Our first stop is Allen's Cay, a tiny, unspoiled island. What an experience! There's a large number of dragon iguanas, a primeval sight. Thousands and thousands of iguanas and huge lizards once lived on the islands and cays of the Bahamian archipelago. Today, they're threatened by extinction and are protected. After a short journey, we arrive at our final destination, Channel Cay, one of more than 365 sunny islands of Exuma Cays. Is there anything more relaxing than sitting in warm water while stroking a ray? Yes, paradise really does exist on this tiny dream island. Fresh fish and seafood is appetizingly prepared, plus a fresh salad. The longed-for Caribbean feeling is almost complete. This is the place in which to forget the pressures of everyday life, a perfect place in the sun. The Bahamas enjoys the warm sea currents of both the Antilles Stream and the Gulf Stream. This is the ideal location for marine fauna and flora. Sand Cay. This exotic little island in the sun is the final stop in our trip around this island paradise. Wonderful sandy beaches and palm trees that gently sway in the breeze. No wonder it was here that the hammock was invented. Remote and endless like freckles in the blue and green glimmering sea are the many small cays in the center of the Bahamas. NASA's first astronauts were captivated as they flew above the islands. The tiny sparkles in the huge blue ocean appeared like sparkling gems. The dependable tropical climate of the Bahamas means dry, frost-free winters and humid summers. Hopefully climate change will not disturb this natural balance. The Spanish, who discovered these islands 500 years ago, had little interest in beautiful beaches and clear water. They wanted to pass by the Bahaman, the shallow sea, unscathed in order to safely guide their richly laden ships home. Today, everyone loves this magnificent paradise. The Bahamas, the very name conjures up remote sandy beaches and turquoise blue water, romantic sunsets and tropical nights. Here, holiday dreams become incredible reality.